They had me out there doing that, the PA, so that's why it took me so long. No, not really. But each year brings about a new level of excitement and enthusiasm. Every year, each team has to present its own identity. Last year's success did not determine this next season's success. And what we got to be mindful of is we have a really good team coming back, have an outstanding quarterback with a lot of players surrounded. It's going to be critical for us is how the challenges and expectations and where they are and how we weigh them. I'm very happy with this football team, and I know what is ahead of us and what we have to get done.
Charlie, who has emerged as the leader of this team? You think you already see it? I mean, you said in the summer it's going to, with the workouts and stuff. Is Teddy the leader of the team? Is he taking control of it?
Well, when you look at the leadership of this football team, and you always want guys, you like for your seniors to step up and become leaders. And we have a good senior class, and then you look at Copeland, you look at Roy Fallon on defense. But Teddy Bridgewater, just because he's a quarterback, you expect so much from him because he's a quarterback, you expect him to be the leader. But I always look at defensively, and I always tell our middle linebacker, who's Preston Brown, that the leadership of his team is going to involve you. Because you look at it, everything starts with defense. And Teddy's done an outstanding job, but he also has to get help, and he has to get help from players like Preston Brown, players like players like Roy Fallon. But the leadership of this football team is going to take a collection of players and not just one or two. And because you know that who Teddy is, but also there's another set of guys that can also lead this team.
Charlie, how is this team different this year than last year, and how much of that experience, especially for returning guys, is an influence on them in terms of maturity?
Well, you like to think that the team has matured because if you look at last year, there was a lot of close games. You were able to go and win the Sugar Bowl, but also just the expectations of this team now, and our players really understand it. Because now you're saying we got to get to that next level and we have to improve. And they understand the work ethic now, and they understand just how they have to improve. And you like to think that now that 4 years into the program with our coaching staff, that the players know our coaching staff. And there's been some continuity with our coaching staff, and that the players understand just the level and where we had to take the program to the next level. And our players really, they're buying into it now, and they really understand it.
Charlie, you've always been able to find a way to motivate, find a chip to put on your players' shoulders. I mean, have you found that so far yet?
Well, we're always looking to just find a way how can you motivate this team, and but what you have to do is just keep this team in perspective because of what's been placed. And then I tell them all the time, guys, it really doesn't matter what people say you're going to start, but it's all about you finishing. And it's all about us right now, or either we're going to grow and we're going to continue to improve, or we're going to die, where we're going to maintain and remain the same, and where we're just going to get cocky and we're going to get full of ourselves. And that cannot happen with this team. We're going to have to continue to grow. We're going to have to get better because we're nowhere where we should be. Where there's a lot of room for improvement, and we know we have to improve.
Charlie, how much does the buzz that sort of started being created in Lexington with a new coach there, is that on your radar?
No, because you know what, he's going to do an outstanding job, and the only program we can just look at is our program and take care of what we have. And you know, you want success with both programs because you're two in-state programs. You want to see that happen. So just for the state of Kentucky.
How important is this game, this rivalry for your program?
Well, it's big because it's an in-state game, and you look at two of the two major universities within the state, and you love this game. But you know what? Then you go play the game, and then they go play in the Southeastern Conference, and we go play in our conference. But you know, it's great, and it's great that because you look at the high schools, there's a lot of fans, and there's a lot of support, and there's a lot of you look at it because people always talk about UK versus Louisville, and they understand the rival and just understand the alumni, how big that game is.
How do you approach the schedule with your team? There's a perception in the 1 year in this new conference before you go to the ACC that it's not as tough a schedule as some might want. How do you deal with that with the players?
Well, you talk about our schedule. The only thing you can do is you have to look at it game by game. But what's important for us and what we have to understand is that when you look at your schedule, guys, it's all about us and it's all about you as a player improving. You don't ever worry about your opponent. You have to worry about yourself. And did you go get better? Did you go play at the level that we expect you to go play at? And the schedule, there's some really good teams on that schedule, but still, we had to worry about our football football team, and it's, you know what, week by week, we're going to go play who we're going to go play, but it's all about us making sure that we continue to get better. We improve each and every week.
Coach, you're going to put emphasis on scoring as many points as possible to continue to rise in the polls.
Well, you can't handle that because you know what? You're going to play against some really good defenses, and we're not there to try to run up the score on anybody. We're just trying to win the football game.
Charlie, with so much attention focused on the offense and having so many players back on defense, until that side of the ball is ready to start grabbing your shirt spotlight.
Well, just defensively, you like to always start where we start to build on defense. And we have some players on defense. Last year, we didn't play at the level that we expected to play at. And you have an outstanding quarterback on offense. You have receivers with Devontae, with Cope. You have some good players there. You know, offensive line that's coming back. But defensively, we got some players back, too. You look at Pryor, you look at Preston, you look at our front that's back. So we just got to make sure that we play as a team because it's all about this. We want to take this program to the next level. Our offense, our defense, and our special teams. All three phases got to play well. We didn't play well. You know, we played well on offense at times or defensively, and in the special teams, we got to improve. We had to improve as a football team.
What are some of the challenges of playing in Lexington, just the environment and what you tell your players, and just the pomp and circumstance? I mean, it is something that we only see once a year in each of the locations.
Well, you know, it's 3 games down the road, and we're going to be prepared to go play. And it's just like playing on anytime you go on the road, you got to go pack your defense, and you have to understand that you got to play well. You just got to play well as a football team, not only in Lexington, but each week that we go step out and go play.
Charlie, Mark is starting to get an idea of the blitz of increased responsibilities, like things like this, and going to do the media type thing with the new head coach. What do you remember about sort of experiencing that for the first time, going from being an assistant to handling all this other stuff?
Well, it's tough in the beginning because you're really, you know, everyone can always talk about, hey, this is what you have to go do until you really experience it. Then you kind of get a better grasp of what's really going on because there's questions coming from everywhere. You know, it's from not only from the media, but everyone's trying to pull you in one direction. You have the alumni, you have, you know, someone wanting to come and speak here, whereas the Kiwanis Club, whomever it may be, someone is always trying to pull you. And you try, in the beginning, you know, you're sitting there and you try to accommodate everyone in the beginning, but then you start realizing that, you know, I can't accommodate everybody. And then, you know, some people get mad about it, but that's just the way it is. You know, you just say, well, next year I try to get to you, but it's just so tough in the beginning because everybody want a piece of you because here you are, you're just a new face in town.
Charlie, the type of thing that coach to your players, the competition on the field or the lofty expectations this team's going to face all season long?
Well, it's going to be a combination of both because the unrealistic expectations has been placed on this program. You know, I think about, and I probably should, what probably should have happened, the first year we should have won 2 games. The second year we should have won 4. Last year we should have won 6. And then this year they say, well, they're going to go win 7 or 8, and it would have been good for us. And then those expectations wouldn't have been as high. But when you have a football team like we do, you kind of welcome. You really like for it to be this way than the other way, where our first year they picked us where we weren't going to win any games. But the challenge is our players, they have to understand just if they want to go move this program and continue to build this program, then that's what's expected. When you want to become a top-notch program and you want to be called in the same voice, in the same writing or same message as everyone else from the top programs, then it's what you expect.
Charlie, with a few weeks left to go before fall camp, is there going to change the status with Clint Bird? Is he back on the job?
No, what we're going to do, and Tom is going to address it, we're waiting for the investigation to clear itself.
How's the overall team health right now?
Well, right now we're fairly healthy. I'm trying to think. You know, you had Sonoris to go down, and Sonoris is right on track to come back. And then you have Brooks, our nose guard Brooks. He'll be back, but he kind of in the spring he banged his knee, and he's coming back. And then you had D'Angelo Brown hurt an Achilles. But I think that I don't know how long he's going to be out. But with our status, our health, we should be a fairly healthy team when we start there on August the 5th.
Charlie, some thoughts about Teddy, what he did last year in terms of the grade, the way he went through all the injuries, and just what he brings to the table. Is he different this year, and what will he do this year that may be further down the road in terms of the future?
Well, you look at it, you like to say that each year your quarterback and everyone else mature and they get better. And with Teddy, you look at that Rutgers game and he go in and he plays that game and we're able to go win it and then get us to the Sugar Bowl. But, he's an outstanding player and everyone knows that. And the only thing he wants to do is just get better and better. But that's everyone. They want to get better and improve. And you have to be surrounded by some good players. And that's what it is right now with Teddy. He's surrounded by some outstanding players and it's only going to make him better.
James Quick is one of those huge signings that you guys got from this area. How much can you expect from him as a freshman? I mean, do you expect him to contribute right away?
Well, it's tough with a freshman in their playing time, but he's a skilled player. And a lot of times with skilled players, they're able to get on the field quicker than linemen. And he's going to be given opportunities. And then with our offensive staff, they'll just make a decision on whether he's ready to go play.
Excuse me, Coach. Will you people back in the back please go outside if you need to talk because people are having a hard time hearing. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Hey, I love that, Bill. Let's step back up here. Huh?
What's your view as a whole, maybe as a staff, is bringing in kids that may have a troubled past and may have had some wrongs before different schools?
No one in particular. Just say it. Well, a lot of times you say that people are given a second chance, and that's what. And as a coach, the only thing you want to do is just make sure that you have an impact on a young person's life, and that's the only thing you're trying to do. Whether a person is a really good player or he's not, he's still with you. You want to make sure that if you bring anyone into your program, that he's going to become a part of your program, and you're not going to become him. And that's what I always say. They're going to become us. We're not going to become them. And anytime we're looking to bring anyone into this program, it's all about us wanting to change that young man's future and give him a future where he has a chance to go be a productive citizen in society.
Do you have any new members of your program?
I have no new members of my program.
This, Mark Stoops' first time around doing this, and first time in this game. What do you remember your first year about what people told you about the Kentucky game, or how important people told you it was, or anything along those lines?
Well, what's been great, and probably with Mark, he's probably, well, I was at Florida and we played Kentucky, and then when I came here to Louisville, it's such a big rival game because you're looking at two in-state schools. But I can remember that first game, we played at our stadium, and I think, as a first-year Cobb, he had that wildcat, he went down the boundary there for about 60 yards, and we couldn't tackle the running back. I think their first touchdown, he broke about 2 or 3 tackles and went for about 30 yards, but you just feel the atmosphere and just the whole game and just the whole makeup of the game where it's a big-time game. And, no one wants to make a mistake, and you just feel it. And when you do make a mistake, then it's a mistake that can hurt you.
How well do you know
More questions.
Mark? Do you know him well?
Well, I know Mark because of just the Stoops. I know Bobby. I know just the whole generation of the Stoops, and we've all crossed paths.
Charlie, does your schedule permit you to compete for a national championship, and is that a legitimate goal?
Well, someone told me a long time ago, you don't ever talk about winning a national championship. You just wake up one day and you're the national champion, and you do. And, you wake up one day and you say, hey, I've been a part of 2 national championships, and we never, ever walked in there and say, hey, our goal is to go win a national championship. You know what your goal has to be as a football team, you have to play together, and you have to come together as a team. You have to have the right attitude as a football team. You got to get your players to improve each and every week, and you got to get focused on that game. That game that you're going to go play, because down the road, a lot of times when you look down the road, you miss out on what's going to happen in front of you, and that's what we can't do. I don't know if we're at that level right now. This program has reached it because we have to be consistent, and it goes back to you have to be competitive. You have to learn how to win. You have to be able to handle winning, and then you got to be able to take your program to the next level. But I don't ever want to talk about going and win a national championship with this group of guys because what happens. There's a lot got to happen. There's got to be a lot of luck involved, and then you don't want to put added pressure on your team where hey, we got to go win. You have to go win. I can remember that when we won the second one at Florida. Then we were going to go play for the third one. Everyone thought that you had all these players coming back. I can remember on defense we had 21 of the top 22 players coming back. You had Tebow coming back. You had Percy Harvin coming back. You had your whole team basically coming back. And you get there, and every game, And that's what I don't want to see happen here, where you did not enjoy winning a game because if you only won by 7, well, you should have beat the team by 30. And then if you beat a team by 30, you should have beat the team by 40. And I just don't want that to creep into our team where they had to feel like, where losing it could become devastating, where it's like, oh my God, we got beat. And then you win a game where they don't really enjoy it. And it cannot happen. And that had happened in that program that year, and we were able to run the table. Then we got beat by Alabama in the Southeastern Conference Championship game. And then you would have thought that we lost every game that season. And I just don't want that to happen with this team. I want to make sure that we stay focused and we stay locked in game by game, and that, it's all about our players and it's all about them just getting better.
Did that happen last year, do you think, games against Southern Miss, FIU, that you didn't win by enough and it could have affected the mindset of the players?
No, I think that what happened last year when we did get to 8 or 9-0, and then we go up to Syracuse and they get pounded. I think we started feeling a little too good about ourselves and thought that we were better than what we actually were. And then the wake-up call was when UConn beat us. And because as a game that you felt like is the last home game, we'll go play well, and then we get out there and get beat by UConn. But then you're able to bounce back and go win the Rutgers game, which you were able to go. And you had to go win that game anyway. But still, though, we ended up with, you're sitting there undefeated, and that hasn't been in our program in a while, not since I've been here that we've ever been undefeated. But I think our players did. I think that they were hearing the noise in the system, and they were hearing too much. And when you hear too much, then that become a part of your team. Then you don't respect the opponent, and you start feeling cocky, and you get self-absorbed, and you start listening to what people are saying to you, when really it's still about work, and it's still about preparation, it's still about focus, and that's what happened. We lost that.
Is that your biggest challenge this year, is that there's a lot of noise and talk about you guys national champion, top 10, maybe feeling good about yourselves as players?
Well, you know what? We haven't really started. I think that the players hear that, but we'll get a chance as a coaching staff to get that and set that in order and get it right.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.